Hello everybody. This is not going to be my usual Hearthstone video, so before anybody tunes out, I just want to say up front that this isn't just going to be about the fact that I've decided to disenchant every golden card I had, but also I'm going to talk about ideas such as pay to win, free to play, so hopefully something in there is of interest to you. Now, that said, I wasn't going to make this video originally, but I was having a conversation with a friend of mine who doesn't play Hearthstone, and I really was pleased with the way I presented this to her. And I also got a comment on another video of mine asking, where'd your golden cards go? So I was like, okay, let me let the people know. A little bit of background about myself. In the early days of Magic the Gathering, I was a semi-serious tournament player. I had a very extensive collection, including very rare, expensive, powerful cards. So I was accustomed to having full set. Now, Hearthstone is a game I started playing a day or two after it went live. I got out at the end of Goblins vs. Gnomes, got back in during the Mean Streets of Gadgetzan. Hearthstone is a free-to-play game. It is not a pay-to-win game, and that is evidenced simply by the fact that there's nothing in the game you can get with money that you can't get without money. There's daily quests every single day. You can re-roll them if they're one you don't like or don't feel like completing. A lot of these quests have you doing things that don't require you to win. So it doesn't even matter if you're good at the game. You're going to be able to achieve gold on a regular basis. You can use that gold to buy packs. The cards you get that you don't want to use, you can disenchant, craft the ones you do want. So there's nothing you can get with money in the game that you can't get without money, except for like alternate portraits, but that doesn't affect gameplay. The difference when you pay money is you get more cards sooner, you get more dust sooner, you get the opportunity to craft more cards sooner. That's it. It's a way to speed up time. Now, in the early games, like I said, I was accustomed to having a lot of cards, so I didn't have the patience to just like grind out the arena and stuff like that. So I did pay more than I really was capable, than I really should have. And I want to say up front that there's nothing wrong with paying. Just because this is a free-to-play game does not mean that people should not be paying, because there's a lot of work that goes into this. You know, I'm not going to go through the specifics because I don't actually know all of it, what it takes to like theory craft and balance and bug fix and all that stuff, but a lot of work's gone into this. If you're getting value from it, you should be giving value back. Sometimes that can be in the form of like making videos, you know, advertising the game kind of thing, or actually paying them some money. So I don't think that not paying any money is a good idea, but I was paying more than I should have. And it was just because I had the impatience to get a full collection. And the ironic part about that is I was mostly playing Arena because I wasn't that great of a player. I wasn't that great of a deck builder. So in Arena, at 3 wins, you basically get a pack and like 50 gold back. So it's like the money was spent into that same pack that you could have just bought, except for you had time enjoying the game as well. At 7 wins, you get the pack and your entrance fee refunded, plus maybe a little more. And then at 12 wins, it's so ludicrous. Like, if you were good enough at the game, it used to be that you could just play Arena over and over. And I guess DKs broke that, and Bone Mare and yada yada, and Blizzard's taking steps. I don't actually know. I don't play Arena anymore, but I've heard, and it's getting more balance and stuff. So literally anybody can pick up the game and start building cards and stuff like that. And there's budget lists that have been published for as old as the game has been. So there's it's definitely not pay to win. I don't need to touch on that any further. I did want to talk more about why I don't have golden cards anymore. Because I spent money on packs and filled up my collection pretty quick, all the money I was winning from quests, from Arena, the packs I was getting, the dust I was amassing, I had nothing to do with all that gold and all that dust. So I was like, I've always been a function over form kind of guy, like foil cards in real life, gold cards in Hearthstone. They don't mean anything to me. It doesn't change the way the card works. I don't think it's worth status because my mind doesn't work that way. But I had all these resources, so I was like, okay, what if I crafted like golden copies of the legendary cards? Because they're, unique. There's only so many of them. You can, if you lay down a golden legendary, it's more impactful than a golden common, for example. And mentally, not obviously in the game. So I was like, okay, this is a worthwhile use of my resources. But then an expansion came out. There was things for us to do with our gold, to do with our dust, and I was like, okay, I'm not going to be doing that anymore. Fast forward into the future, I realized N'Zoth was a really fun card. It's my favorite card. So I was like, okay, I'll craft a golden version of that because I love the card. It's going to be in every deck I build. Why not? It's what I used to do. And I was very pleased with that decision because the things he brings back are golden because he's golden. So cards like that, like Shaku, for example, who generates cards, those cards generated are golden because he's golden. That was interesting to me, and I didn't regret that one bit. And then, of course, once it came time to stream and start producing videos, I noticed that my Jade Rogue deck was almost all golden. Like, I had already crafted a golden Aya because I saw N'Zoth was making golden cards. I was like, oh, I will too. That's really cool. I realized I was very close to having an all-golden deck, just commons, which comparatively are relatively cheap. So I was like, okay, let's make this production look a little more professional, show that I'm a little more serious than my gameplay might actually look because I'm not the best player. So I was like, okay, let's go all golden. And I don't regret that decision. Until I had to start making tweaks to the deck, and I was like, oh, well, I would refrain from trying this card or maybe taking a different direction and stuff like that because I didn't have the golden cards. Or if I had to make a tweak that I determined would be a good no matter what, like, I would be tempted to have to craft those cards in golden. And then this really hit home come time for Kobolds and Catacombs because I crafted a few cards I knew would be good for my deck, and I thought that would be it, but then I saw people playing with cards. I was like, oh, I want to try that, I want to try this, and I didn't feel as if I could even try it because either I wouldn't have them in golden, or my deck would be like 85% golden, and that would just look silly. And in retrospect, I totally admit that this is all just like a mental hang-up. This isn't like reality. You can play with whatever cards. They function the same. They don't have to be golden. And I want to make it clear, too, that your resources are yours to do with that whatever you want. If you want to pursue all golden, fine. That's yours to decide. But objectively speaking, because they don't actually make a difference in game, I'll go out on a limb and say that I think that chasing gold cards is a bad idea. You can basically use your resources on having a more complete set or a prettier, more selective set. And back when I was streaming, I wanted the prettier, more selective set. Now I'm kind of wanting more fullness in my collection and that sort of thing. And for me, the temptation was always going to be there. Oh, the deck's already like 85%. You're just missing these 3 cards or whatever. Like, you know, you could buy packs even though your collection's complete and get some dust. And so the temptation to spend more and more was always going to be there. And I want to say up front that, like I said, value for value, that's the just thing to do. And Blizzard has continued to provide me with a great deal of value. Ungoro was fun. Knights of the Frozen Throne was amazing. This expansion's been fun, if only because it's no longer just all Raza Priest. There's more things going on now. So for as long as they keep the game fun, I don't have a problem with pre-ordering the expansions, because you basically are getting a good amount of packs to start your collection with at the lowest possible exchange rate. And there was even a time where I would say, okay, even beyond that, I'll do the whole 60 packs for $70 just as a one-time thing. Give them value, get my collection started. I'm personally not going to do that moving forward, but only because I've spent so much money in the past that I don't want to do that moving forward. But I will continue to pre-order the expansions just because they are keeping the game fun. I am deriving a great deal of value out of it. It's my primary pastime. In fact, I recently got into Breath of the Wild for the first time, and that game is amazing to me. But since Kobolds and Catacombs come out, Hearthstone's just been more fun for me. So I don't have a problem giving value for value to Blizzard. I'm not going to tell anybody what they should do. I'm an old school gamer where you bought the game and you just owned the game. So this whole like paying another $50 to pre-order every 3 months seems excessive to me. But I don't know if that's because I'm old school like that, or if because it's subjectively true that's just too much money to ask of the people. I don't know, but that's the thing about value. It's subjective, and for as long as people continue to pay, they're going to be able to continue to get paid and continue to create this content, keep the game fresh and fun for everybody else. So pay what you can. You don't have to, obviously, but I think it's the right thing to do. If you don't feel like buying packs beyond the or maybe you don't pre-order the expansion, but you just drop $20 every expansion, whatever you're comfortable with, whatever works for you. I'm not here to tell you what you should do. I'm just here to let you guys know that I've disenchanted all my golden cards. And for those who aren't aware, what you get in dust for disenchanting a golden card of a specific rarity gives you the dust to create a regular version of that same rarity. So it is a zero-sum game for me to decide to disenchant all my golden ones, only to turn around and recraft them in regular. But for me, it's going to be worth it just because the temptation will be gone, and now I can have a more diverse collection. I can try different things without feeling as if like I'm missing out or I'm limiting myself. So for me, this is what works, and I just want to let you guys know about that. Let me know what you think, though, and if there's anything else you'd want to talk about or want me to talk about. That's going to do it for this time. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.